Strength and conditioning is so important because it prevents injury, makes you a better athlete, and makes you an overall better volleyball player. So make sure you stick around to the end to learn my best tips. What's up? My name is Jacoby. Subscribe to this channel if you like volleyball, want to learn how to play. Also like this video and could leave a comment down below. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about being a multi-sport athlete versus being a single sport athlete. So for example, in high school, I played golf, basketball, and volleyball. Now, golf is kind of like a non-factor with volleyball, to be honest, but what really made me a better volleyball player was playing basketball. And I say this just because it's cross-training. You jump to rebound the ball, right, in basketball. You also jump when you block. So it's like cross-training each skill in different settings. And it's so beneficial to your athleticism, how many injuries you get because you're more conditioned to like what you're doing over and over and over again, but you do it over and over and over again in a different setting, in a different sport, and it's a little bit different than how you're doing it in the other sport. I cannot promote cross-training enough. Like, I think playing two sports is great. It also demands the muscle to build more evenly because if you think about it, you're using different muscles when you play two different sports. So you're kind of strengthening those muscles that you necessarily wouldn't if you just played one sport. Cross-training also promotes like better flexibility, mainly just because the stress that's put on your muscles by playing sports is more evenly distributed when you're playing two different sports rather than say you just play volleyball. A lot of stress is going to be on your knees, on your shoulder, right? But if you play basketball as well, it'll be evenly distributed to where you won't feel so much like centralized pain in one area or two areas. Playing two different sports also helps you like mentality wise because you have to be like a completely like different, like more aggressive version when you're playing basketball versus to when you're playing volleyball. You can still be aggressive, but it's not like you're hitting someone. Like basketball, you know, is a physical contact sport, but when you're playing volleyball, it's different. But it's like a good way to like cross-train your mind as well, so you can like switch between those modes. I think that's just a really great thing to learn. But once again, you don't have to go out there and like pick up a different sport. Like if you're not like inclined to play two different sports, like if you're not naturally good at whatever, you can still try out if you want to, but you don't have to do that. That's just what I did because I started playing basketball first and then I started playing volleyball, so I always play basketball. But that's just my example. So training during the off season, during the season, and preseason is very important because your body needs to be prepared for different stages of your season. So for example, if you're in the preseason, that's when you're trying to get, you know, your quickest, your strongest, because you're starting before the season and you want to make sure you're at your peak before you go into the season because the season's long, there's injuries, and that's when you start wearing down. So you want to be as fit as possible in the beginning. Once you get into the season, you want to maintain what you have, okay? You don't want to get injured. You don't want to go too hard to where you're tearing down your muscles and you don't have enough time to recover. Off season is when you're really grinding, like you're really getting on your strength grind, trying to get bigger, trying to get stronger, trying to get faster, and just trying to build your overall game during the off season because it's much longer than the actual season. Also during the off season, you really want to work on your plyometrics or like your explosiveness or your vertical, whatever you want to call it. They all kind of go hand in hand. But you really want to work on your jump then because you're going to have a lot more days to recover. And what I mean is like during the season, it's really hard to work on your plyometrics like intentionally because you need days off in between workouts that you're working out your twitch muscles. You need days in between to actually recover and rest and have your muscles grow and regenerate themselves. If you're training plyometrics one day, then you have practice the next and a game the next, you're never going to recover properly. So you need to really save those workouts to get the max results like for the off season. I cannot stress that enough. Like it's not a good idea because you want to play at your best as long as you can. So if you're overtraining, you're gonna play worse. Like that's just it because you're sore, you're tired, and your muscles aren't getting the proper rest that they need. And neither is your body, your mind, all that stuff. And really, during the season, what you really want to focus on is more skill-based stuff. Rather than like what I said earlier about maintaining like strength, physical condition, the season is really just about getting your skill, like maintaining it and also progressing it as you go, rather than really focusing on getting like huge muscles, you know. It's really about the volleyball during the season, of course. And also, we do not want to forget about the best thing ever, which is the transition period between the season and the off season. You need to take time off. okay? You need to rest because your body has been through a lot in the past, whatever, 3 months that volleyball season is. You need to rest because you're broken down, you're worn down, you're probably mentally worn down, emotionally, whatever. So you need to rest, okay? You can rest for like a month or two and then, you know, get back on your off-season grind. That's fine, but you need to take some time off. Please, because I made the mistake of doing that. I think my freshman year, I was like, oh my gosh, like I gotta get back in the gym like a week after I was done. Bro, worst idea ever because I overdid it. I overtrained. My shoulder was hurting because I was swinging way too many times a day. It was just not good. So make sure you're taking time to rest, I swear, because sleep rest is when you get all your recovery and your growing. That's when that happens also when you're sleeping. Make sure you're getting good sleep also, kids. But all right guys, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, let me know. If you want me to talk more about like strength and conditioning, fitness stuff, let me know because I love that kind of stuff because it's so important. Like I feel like it's so underrated. People talk about like volleyball like, oh, like you have to be able to pass the ball, blah blah. You need to be like strong. And I'm not just saying that just because like, oh, like you have to be like the strongest person in the room. Like, no, like I was never that. I was never the strongest person ever. I'm a noodle, actually. So like, it's not about being the strongest person. It's about being strong to prevent injury. That's really why I enjoy lifting weights. It's just so I cannot be injured. It's not because I want to be like super huge. Like, no, that's not really my goal. My goal is to not be injured and to enhance my volleyball skills. It all goes hand in hand, guys. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling. I just got so like heated about that. But that's it for today's video, you guys. Please let me know if you liked it in the comments. Like this video once again. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at jacoby.sims, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye!